ABV, original gravity, Simcoe hops, head retention, lacing. Those names might not mean too much to you now, but you're going to know them even more as we go through another round of Brewsday Tuesday. Here's Drez and Big Nate.
That just reminded me, we need to hit up Matt Anthony to do another show with us.
For real.
Yeah, like that was an improv liner. I didn't write that for him. He just, when we were doing Brewsday Tuesday liners, he just started spouting off all this stuff because he's so knowledgeable of craft beer.
Dude knows his beer.
He definitely does, man.
We need to get him in studio.
That would be great. We were actually talking about having him come down for a tech game in 2020. So you know what happened with that. But yeah, he is. It would be great to get him down and actually meet him in person and stuff. We digress. It is Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store in downtown Blacksburg. We're doing our Valentine's Day edition, where I don't know what he's got over there to hand me. He doesn't know what I have to hand him, unless you sneaked a peek in my beer fridge. They've been in my fridge for like 2 weeks, so you might have, but they were there if you wanted to look. But here you go.
I don't like cheating. This is so much fun.
It is more fun this way, isn't it? Ooh.
So I kind of knew in my heart of hearts that this was going to show up.
Because, you know, I
not this beer in particular, but Hoof Hearted Brewing.
You're a label whore, so I was like, all right, I got to get him another Hoof Hearted, because I think we mentioned this. I don't know if we mentioned on the last show, but he loves the Hoof Hearted label so much that he's been taking them off the can and been putting them on his door. So I wanted to get another one for the door for sure.
Oh,
and that's one that I'm not gonna lie, I'm super excited for that one too, because it's pretty rare to find a triple IPA. But there you go.
Well, not just the triple IPA. So this is the Pure Snow Key Bump from Hoof Hearted Brewing. Triple dry hop, triple India Pale Ale with Breweye, Citra, Sabro, milk, sugar, and vanilla beans, 10.5% ABV. And this might be my favorite label out of. I was talking with Mikey at the cellar about Hoof Hearted and how they're just, the labels have vastly become my favorite. But this one, Key Bump, so it's got car keys on it, Pure Snow, and I can't tell who this is supposed to be, but it's a guy skiing in a mountain of snow.
Just a cool, fun little character.
Yeah,
the flamingo. I like the pink flamingos flying.
I'm
around.
guessing that is Tony Montana's version of snow, given the whole Key Bump.
Yeah, but and it's. Did you say the ABV?
Yeah, it's 10.5. So it's a big boy.
Nice, hearty, big boy. I'm away because I am pouring what you gave me from Big Lick Brewing Company. All right, going a little more local, which is awesome. Right out of Roanoke, we got the Buckin Bronco New England IPA, which, again, that's the more hazy style that when it comes to IPAs, I prefer. Brewed with Brew One, Citra, Galaxy, Simcoe, and Strata. This one's coming in at a nice, safe, respectable 6.7% from good old Big Lick down there in Roanoke. Did you make a trip that way recently? Or
I did not. That was another one that I saw that you hadn't had, and of course I did know your West Coast thing, so I thought we would get a little East Coast West Coast action going. And
I do love the Bronco, so
I couldn't find one that you hadn't had that was New England or an East Coast IPA that was a triple or a double.
Yeah,
I did try. That was like my holy grail,
because
looking for it.
If you're looking at
you've had them all
again, yeah, I would have grabbed everything that they've had there, unless it's something new. Which this must be
brand
new. Yeah,
that was canned on February 4th.
Oh well, there you go. Yeah, it says it right there, February 4th. You're right.
So it's fresh.
And Broncos. So my brother had a Bronco for a while, or was it a Bronco?
That was not related to my
Could
decision.
have been a Bronco too, but I do like Broncos, man. Broncos are sweet. Of course, you know there's the whole the chase, I guess. And my brother, his Bronco was a white Bronco.
Oh boy.
I want to say it was like the exact OJ one, like the model year or whatever. And the license plate that he got was Juice.
The juice is loose, baby. So my memories of that, like, I guess what?
I mean, we were young. Very young.
I only very recently, I've been going through Dark Side of the 90s. It's a Vice docu-series on the 1990s, and there's an episode on, it's appropriately entitled The Chase.
Yeah.
And I I didn't realize, and it's weird because I'm a fan of true crime, but that case never really fascinated me as much as it probably should have. I didn't realize he wasn't the one driving the Bronco.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't.
That's even crazier.
Yeah, he wasn't solo in that little jaunt.
Good Lord.
Yeah, again, we were really, I mean, you even younger than I, but I mean, I was quite young with that, but I do vividly remember I was in 3rd grade, and obviously they didn't make an announcement on the overhead speaker, but I think I'm pretty sure her last name at the time was Halpin. I don't know. She's been married a couple times. I can't remember if it was Halpin at the time, maybe. Miss Halpin. She worked at the front office. But I remember she popped her head into Mrs. Bailey's, my 3rd grade class, and said, OJ was found innocent. Like, just said he was innocent, found innocent. And because it was that big of a deal. Like, I mean, they didn't announce it on the overhead speaker. So clearly she was maybe just telling it to the teachers that she knows that were interested in it. Obviously, this was what, 90, 3rd grade would have been, I don't know, when was the thing? 96, 95?
I think early 96, I think.
Yeah, something like that. But I somehow that is ingrained in my memory of her popping her head in just to say that OJ was found not guilty.
That's the other thing I realized, like watching,
not innocent, not guilty.
Rewatching this or watching this docuseries is that like my concept of time when I'm younger is very fluid. Like I just kind of like pick up like pieces and bits and moments.
Absolutely.
Like, I remember 9/11, of course. Wow, this is uplifting topic. Like I remember that being like a whole, like there was an announcement made and then everyone was like sat down in their classroom and like we were put on lockdown. We weren't even that close to any of the targets.
No,
like it was just crazy.
Y'all went on lockdown. We didn't go on lockdown. Yeah. We were closer than you. But yeah, I vividly remember that. Mr. Sizemore, he was a Virginia Tech grad, first year student, basically a teacher, but first year, like right out of college. I was in English class, first period, and I didn't know what the World Trade Center was, but they made that announcement, and I just remembered him like kind of like being taken aback, like, oh my God. And I was like, this is clearly a big deal, but I don't know what's going on. Or
it's my first year and I don't know how to handle this.
Yeah, that was a crazy time too.
But yeah. Bronco had no
no
tie to be picking that up for you.
No, but I like a good Bronco, and I know that they've made the new ones too. Which
one just pulled into our parking lot, like I kid you not, and like went down around back. So
one of the new Broncos,
they're obviously listening.
Yeah, clearly big fans. All right, you stop on by. I'll give you a little taste of the Buckin Bronco. But yeah, Big Lick, man. You've been to Big Lick though, haven't you? Yeah. Big Lick's a staple down there. That's probably, I mean, I got to say that's the standout brewery in Roanoke, in my opinion. I know that there's a few other, like they have a Star Hill, I guess, kind of down there. They have their
it's interesting because like
3 Knots.
Some of the big guys have tried to move in and they've had a hard time up there.
Yeah, like I mentioned the 3 Knots. The 3 Knots is still there and open, right?
3 Knots is still there.
And that's good. They got good food. I can vouch for that.
Ballast Point, unfortunately, had to step in and step right back out.
Well, and weren't they? The shoots? They were planning on it and then it didn't even come to fruition? I can't remember.
I'm not 100% certain that they.
I don't get down to Roanoke that often.
I think the pandemic kind of.
I think maybe they
had plans.
You're right.
The pandemic kind of put holds on it. But Ballast Point was one of those. Like we did our wedding rehearsal dinner at Ballast Point, and they had a really nice facility. It was just like they were real eager. We realized we had to do like a dinner for the people showing up for rehearsal, like the week before, and it's like, yeah, we're available. We're wide open. Okay, good. We're coming. Make some tacos. Delicious tacos.
Yeah.
It's kind of tragic they're not there anymore.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
But Big Lick has been steadily hanging in there.
Mm-hmm. And making some solid beers too. I do. Yeah. I don't get out there. I don't get down to Roanoke to do the beer scene and stuff as often. I pretty much the only time I feel like I get down there is when there's a show, and as all bear listeners know, there haven't been a ton of rock shows coming through Roanoke as of late. So, but hopefully that'll change this year. I don't know. We'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Yep, absolutely.
This, I mean, so this looks like orange juice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is the hallmark of any good IPA, in my opinion. I like to have the
You like the hazy as well.
I
You
love the hazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got to ask, did you ever have that experience where you know, it's middle school, you give the Valentine to the girl and then she doesn't have one for you?
No, not so. I know that on the promo, I think you even mentioned it. Like I remember in grade school, everybody had their box, and basically you brought a Valentine for the whole class. They made the ones that were the stupid little Disney ones, and pretty much the ones that you cared about were the ones that had candy in it.
Yeah.
Because not all
Even
of
for
them
the
had
candy,
that.
I'm
Yeah, nobody
silly
cared.
message on the card.
But I don't remember ever doing that. But I'm guessing you have a story.
I do, but it's not middle school. This was in college.
Oh, okay. Well, that's different. Well, then, yeah.
But I got in trouble, and I still have never lived it down to this day. Thankfully, I'm married to the woman now.
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned earlier that Valentine's Day and our dating anniversary
yeah.
are within 2 weeks of each other.
So you were denied on Valentine's Day?
No, I didn't even try on Valentine's Day. I was like, I don't want to make her uncomfortable. Don't want to push her away. And when I first, like, you know, asked her, you know, let's make this more serious. She's like, well, what the hell happened with Valentine's Day? And still to this day, it's like, you know, we have 2 kids together, right? Like,
she still gives you crap for that?
Yeah.
To not, well, that's the move. You certainly don't get involved before Valentine's Day, because then it's like, okay, well, what do you do for Valentine's Day with somebody you've been dating for a week?
Yeah,
like, you know,
exactly.
That doesn't work. Of course, you're going to wait till after.
I thought I was
Day.
making the pro move, but
you're making the dude move. That's the guy move.
11 years later, still hearing about it.
I guess the thing to do would have been to hit her up on Valentine's Day, like, hey.
Probably
you have any play? You want to go to dinner? Yeah,
but then I felt like that would have came across as desperate. You see, like, and I've explained all of this to her, but like,
that's fair. All right, I could see that.
It was horrendous, horrendous decision on my part, or maybe not. Maybe
it worked out. Obviously, yeah. She's probably just giving you a hard time, just for fun, just as wives do.
Yeah. Good Lord.
Yeah. I can't think of a time when I did so you didn't do the Valentine gesture because you were afraid
because
of
I conscientiously had like that experience in my brain. Not that I'd ever experienced it, but like the secondhand embarrassment you get when you see it happen to someone else, TV, real life, whatever. So I conscientiously made the decision not to, and I'm still reaping the benefits 11 years later.
Yeah. No, I'd say you made the right call. Obviously, I mean, it seems to have worked out. So. I don't think she can give you too much of a hard time about that.
We'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Well, that's a good way to set the standard. That's the problem. Is like some people, you know, if you go in really hard on Valentine's Day, then that expectation is just way up here. And maybe it's good to
set the bar low. There you go.
Set it low, man. There might be something to that. No diggity.
I mean, I did also like try and make it somewhat special. I asked her out on Leap Day. The 29th of February is technically.
Oh, so you guys. Oh, that's great.
In my brain, I was planning ahead though. Like,
so this is only like your
anniversary.
This is only your 4th anniversary or whatever. Yeah. So that's great. Or the 3rd? What? How many proper anniversaries? How many have y'all had? 2?
2.
Yeah.
So our 3rd will be next year. I'm not really sure.
It's always a voting year, right? So year after it would be 2024, isn't it?
Yeah,
and it always
would be next year.
Isn't it leap year, Olympics, voting? There's something else. There's always every 4 years. They're always every 4 years, the same 4 years.
As always, you've put way more thought into the calendar than
that's how you can remember it. You know. I don't know. All I know is I've been drinking on an empty stomach. By the way, I once again brought the wrong.
I forgot the candy hearts.
Oh yeah, you were supposed to bring the candy hearts. Yeah, I haven't eaten anything today.
That's some jelly beans earlier.
Liquid diet for yours truly. It works well on a day like this. I love it. I love it, man. The Buckin Bronco New England IPA from Big Lick. It is delicious. Now here's the thing. I mean, I might give it a 5 as well. I feel like it's the only. I guess my only critique is I feel like I like the Stone slightly better just because it's got a higher ABV. I mean, 6.7 is nothing to sneeze at, but it is still delicious for what you're looking for. You got the lacing remnants there if you're watching on the Facebook Live or the YouTube. And by the way, I know we probably haven't done the Untapped spiel in a while, but Untapped, that's what we like to use. We were talking about it earlier. Dress Drinks is my handle.
I'm Big Nate Danger.
Big Nate Danger. If you want to friend us on there, that's cool. You can see what we're drinking and what we're thinking, or at least what I am. He doesn't untap stuff like I do.
Horribly bad at social media.
No, this is good. This is very good. I'm gonna give it a 4.75 just because that one was a 5, and by comparison, I feel like you can't give them both a 5.
All right, based on what I was,
I'm gonna steal a little bit more of this
and looking into. I really thought, I thought that you would have maybe gone lower on the Buckin Bronco. I was expecting maybe a 4 or 5. But I definitely expected
it's good
Ruination to do
it's
great.
Good beer.
I mean, not that a 4 or 5 is still nothing to blush at. 4.75, definitely not. Label alone bumps this up quite substantially, but it is an absolutely delicious beer, and I'm gonna have to just go ahead and ignore my love for their labeling and all of their branding is just both horrendously irresponsible and just
brilliant.
Not in the effort. It's so bad it's good.
Mm-hmm.
So
hence the name of the brewery,
Hoof Hearted.
Hearted. HOOFHEA. In case we've been saying it, and because when you say it, it's one of those ones where like I'm sofa king. What I don't even remember.
Tired.
Oh, tired. Is that what the end of that one? Thank you.
That's
to not get us dumped and a fine. Okay, so yeah, it's one of those kinds of things. There's got to be a name for that. I don't know what that's called.
I'm sure there is. The first time I saw Iron Maiden, Steve Harris was wearing a shirt that said "Whale, Oil, Beef, Hooked." And I want you to go ahead.
I don't.
And ask the missus to say that later.
Okay. All right. Well,
but,
I won't say it right now.
If you throw an accent on there, it does not say whale, oil, beef, hooked. I'll let you figure that out. But this is absolutely phenomenally delicious, and it's a triple high ABV. I love things when they add the milk sugar and then actual fruit like the vanilla beans. It's smooth. It's an easy drinker. It could absolutely trick you if you didn't look at the ABV. You could be in a dangerous spot pretty quickly. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 5.
Yeah, 5. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, I got it for the label mostly, but also because it's a triple and IPA, and I wanted to try it as well. So it wasn't a full, Big Nate thought of on that one like the first round. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. That was fun. And next week, I believe we're gonna have a special guest. Talking a little bit about the March of Ales that's coming up next month. That'll be a lot of fun over there in Blacksburg at the German Club. So hopefully we can give you the more details about that next week. But in the meantime, Nate, as always, I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate the awesome selection of beers. We will go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll get back with the tunes right here on 105.3 The Bear. Stick around.